What's going on, fellow humans and resellers? It is I, James, redemptionagency.com, urban-picker.com, 24, almost, years selling full-time on eBay. And we are Tuesday morning. No, I'm used to doing this in the mornings. We're Tuesday midday for me at 2:30 right now. So that's my halfway point is at 2 o'clock. And we're gonna get into, since I didn't do a video Monday, and we're back again with shipping videos, just gonna do a midday now instead of early mornings, just because eBay shut me down overnight. I don't have much to do in the mornings. So we're just gonna do a midday. I'm gonna talk about what the hell eBay has done. We're gonna look at last week's numbers. We're gonna ship the items that I've pulled that have sold this morning so far today. I'm tired of blocking spam numbers on that damn phone. And we're just going to get into whatever's on my mind, because we're just rebranding the shipping video as a Real Talk Reseller. So I just say and talk about whatever life is, and we talk about reselling and all that good stuff. So we're just going to title it as such. But before I get into that, I just want to do a little commercial first. List Easier. It's going to be the best priced, the best AI software out there to use to list on eBay. So if you're new here, make sure you click the link below, listeasier.com. Put in your email address so that when it goes live, you're one of the first to get in on the action, because it's life-changing. I'm telling you that. Biggity bam. Let's go. All right. That's my commercial. All right. I'm going to probably do that at the beginning of every video, just so you know when it's not going to be a List Easier topic video. Just because the more people that know, the more people it's going to benefit. So, all right. So, we're going to look at last week's numbers first, because Sunday night, eBay does some big maintenance on Sunday nights. Whatever they did last Sunday has totally changed the website outcome from the week before. So I want to see what the week before average dollar per day was, and then I want to look at Monday and see what we did, because it's not pretty. It was a slice. Again, just more confirmation that when they do something, it affects us as resellers, because there's no reason to have just a drop off like I just saw. So we're gonna get into last week's numbers right quick. All right, I am in the clothing store first. Clothing store I haven't been paying too much attention to until yesterday, when we got clothing in the List Easier, so I've been working on that. If you want to see how that's turning out before I upload a video, you can check my Urban-Picker store, look at the newly added items, and those were all done with the AI. So if you're a clothes, been wondering about clothes, and I haven't done the video yet, check out what it actually does there. So this store, haven't done much attention. We go Monday through Sunday. On this one, I'll get my trusty old calculator. All right, so the clothing store last week, $2,056, down 29 or 23%. Still need to get some real glasses. All right. 2055.80. All righty, that is down 23%. Quantity sold 116, that's down 19.4%. Average price per item $17.72, that's down 4.1%. Top 5 items in this store is action figures at number 5, $86. Men's t-shirts have dropped down to number 4 here, $123. That's down 54% on the t-shirts. Women's hats, number 3, $129. That's down 13.5%. Major League Baseball is actually at number 2, $151, down 7.4%. Everything's just down, except the action figures. But men's hats, number 1, $936, down 10.3%. So we're down there. And over in the media store, the store that's been getting a lot of attention, a lot of love. When I say before international sales and after international sales, when I say I didn't get no international sales on the international websites last week type of thing, I noticed people are going because it's because of tariffs and all that stuff. It's not that I'm not getting international sales. I'm just not getting them on the international websites. The international people are coming to eBay US and buying. So like just the weekend, I think my postage for international was $160. So if you divide that by, say, 15, that'll be about how many international sales I had for the weekend. But so let's see if I had any on the international websites last week. So yep, had about $100 on the international websites last week. So total in the media store last week, $3,838. And that is up 16.4%. Quantity sold, 368. That's up 21%. Average price per item, $10.43. That is down 4%. Top 5 video games, number 5, $172, up 2.6%. Blu-rays and DVDs at number 4, $336, up 310%. Vinyl records, number 3, at $340, that's up 20%. Music cassettes, $669, that's up 0.3%. And number 1, music CDs, $1,988, up 27.5%. So because I'm listing more, my numbers are rising. So until eBay gets involved. All right, so I'm going to divide that by 7. So last week, my daily total, or my daily average, $842. Remember that number, $842 a day last week. I'm afraid to even look, because I haven't looked yet for Monday. I'm afraid to look. All right. So $842. So we got $330 for the media store Monday, which is down 32.6%. And for the clothing store, $328. Not as bad as I thought, but still down 5.3, so $657. So it was not as bad as I thought. It was looking pretty bad. Today's looking worse than yesterday, though. So still, it should be over 700. Today so far, so we're at 230. So my halfway point, I kind of do the math at the halfway point. See, what was happening last week that didn't happen yesterday, and that's why I was worried, is last week I had a pickup in the evening. My items just started picking up and selling in the after, say, like 3 or 4 o'clock, the way it used to. And then yesterday, I had a 5-hour window of nothing from like 3 to 8 or something like that. So that's what I saw that was different from the week before. That's why I thought the number was going to be a lot worse than that. And then I'm also having overnights. I'll look at that real quick because I'll tell you what that is, because it's not pretty either with the offers and the sales, because the offers are jacked up like to no end right now. So today, so far, halfway through the day, we're only at $69 in the clothing store. And we're only $173 in the media store. 2.95. So that's $241. So we're looking at under a $600 day if it continues this way. When $842 was last week, we'll be lucky to hit $600 today. So whatever they did Sunday has caused some issues. And didn't I say I was going to do something and now I forgot? Oh, yeah. Because it stood out, so I didn't erase my email so I could report on it. So, sales overnight. So, at between 10 o'clock last night and 9 a.m. this morning, so that's 11 hours, I had 2 sales. So 2 sales in 11 hours overnight. And then the offers, between 8 p.m. last night and 2 o'clock right now, 2:30 right now, I had 2 offers. So that kind of shows you how bad the offers are right now. They're just not going through. I did see yesterday when I Googled eBay problems, because you don't trust eBay's thing. You kind of look at down detector, but it's not a huge thing. So I use all of it. So I use the board, I use the down detector, and I use Google. Google actually was telling me yesterday that there are problems with offers. People are complaining about it. I mean, it literally put out more than it used to. It was telling me about all the issues that are going on that day and what people are reporting on issues, and even stated down detector in that. So I'd never seen so much detail in a Google search before, but it did yesterday. Let me type it in right now and see if it gives me anything like that today. Here we go. All right. While there is no indication of a site-wide outage on eBay today, some users are reporting technical issues. Specifically, the eBay app is experiencing issues with some users seeing incorrect and repeating item images in search results, according to Value Added Resource. Additionally, some users are encountering problems with listing templates, offer sending, and the buy it now or add to cart function. Again with that, according to the Value Added Resource. The add to cart and the buy it now has been huge problems for over 3 years, just a consistent problem. And it sucks that they can't figure that out. If you encountered issues, you can check the eBay system status board for known issues or schedule maintenance. You can also try clearing your web browser cache and cookies. Oh, that's too good right there. So yeah, that sums it up exactly what was going on. So you don't go with, 80, I think I got, what did I get? 83, 84, 85, 86,000. I don't even know how many items I got up anymore. You don't go that length of time, since 10 p.m. last night to 2 o'clock now. I can't even do the math. That's such a wide range. So it'd be 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 and a half hours. I did it, I think. 16 and a half hours with 2 offers, with 80-something thousand items listed on eBay. Now tell me, does that sound right?
No, it doesn't. That don't sound right at all, Sonny. You know what I'm saying? You can't just walk up in here and take the offers away like that. You can't just walk up here and say, nah, you can't buy that today because our checkout is broken. That don't work in the world of e-commerce. It shouldn't work that way in the world of e-commerce, but here we are. Word to your mother.
But we got a tool to fight back. Coming soon. I think Josh was saying, I missed his live today. I clicked on a little bit before I came down. I think he was saying that they're still waiting on clearance for the payment processing part and the returns and all that, the refund portion of that. So they're waiting for all that. I am checking the clothing today, like I already said, and it's going very well. I've only found a couple of bugs, reported them. One was already fixed. The other one I just reported today. Everything's going pretty smoothly, but I'll talk about that in another video. But so let me get into what little bit I have. I've got barely anything here, but I did start up like a new routine here, because now, excuse me, because now I'm changing my cases. See, there's a couple of different reasons why I'm doing it. One I addressed already, because I'm getting more people complaining about broken cases. And I think that's just the newfound interest in physical media, because before it was collectors, and collectors had plenty of cases to change out. Now that I'm getting, I think somebody just left me 3 negatives. At first they said there was only one thing broken, and because I didn't get back to them Saturday, they left me 3 negatives, I guess Saturday. I got back to them Sunday, because Saturday I usually just don't read emails. Kind of a mental day off, if you will, right? Apparently that wasn't good enough. So he had one that had a cracked case. What can you do about it? I don't want to send it back, you know, the same old, where I want the item and a refund. Well, since I didn't email him back in his time period, he went ahead and left negative on all the items, saying they were all cracked, when before it was originally only just one cracked. I hate people like that, but whatever. I don't care. I don't worry about feedback anymore. So I try to take care of you, and if I can't, you know what? That's on you, not me. So after he left the negative feedback, I just said, go ahead and open up the refund or return for the other 2 items, and I'll send you a refund. And he didn't do that. So I just want him to open it up, so that once you open up a return, then the negatives come off eventually. And or if I would have refunded them, they would have came off, and then I could have just put them on the block list. So one of the others would have happened. He would have either sent them back, or I would just refund them and put them on the block list, which I think I already put them on the block list anyway, so it doesn't matter. Whatever. But so I am setting everything up here media wise, so I can go through it before I put it over here. This is doing just because if Adrian is shipping for me, he knows if they're here, he still has to check them, and if they're over here, he doesn't have to. It'll make it quicker for him. So I'm just. Oh, and the other reason is because that one play. The one thing that I had an advantage over a lot of people with was my work ethic. The fact that I could list 200 items in one day if I wanted to. And other people would struggle with that. Well, now people are going to be able to catch up and can technically do the same amount per day that I can a lot easier. So I've got to find other ways to improve. So changing the cases, you know, is just going to look better on me, I guess, and maybe hopefully repeat buyers go up. You know, that's all I can hope for. So that's just kind of another reason. It gives you the ability to focus on other stuff. You know, like I've been able to just organize and just do a lot of things that normally would get thrown by the wayside because they were just not even secondary. They were on the third, fourth, fifth, sixth, 10th part of the list of things to do. And I never got to them. So now being able to get to them, catch up and all that. So, and still be relaxed and have fun. And it's a beautiful thing. I'll just leave that right there. All right, let's do a little bit of shipping here. I did have one item sell since. Let me grab that. Might as well. American Pie 2 and E24. Oh, broken case. Broken case. Broken case. I haven't got my jewel cases in yet, so I'm guessing they're probably coming from China. I got them on Amazon. It's the cheapest place I found them. So I'm guessing they're coming from China. Anyway, let's go ahead and knock these out. So we got 11 pieces of media on this non-eventful day. First up, we got American Pie 2 soundtrack sold for $5. Headed to Southport, Maine. So, Southport, Maine. Yes. Yes, indeed. I've been having to watch Pee-wee a little bit because he started acting a little. He when he starts like yesterday, I noticed his eye moving a little bit more, and then he would lay there, and then I would see a little jerk. And sometimes you can attribute that to dreaming, right? Where you've probably done it in your sleep as you're falling asleep, and you get a little dream happening, and then you kind of stumble. So, but it was happening a little more than I was comfortable with. And then he was also rubbing his eye a lot, and sometimes he'll smack his head with his paw. So I gave him extra meds yesterday. So he seems to calm down a lot today. He's sleeping a lot today because I just medded him up a little bit to make sure we don't get another seizure. At least try to not get another seizure. So he's back here behind the bar, and of course we got Courtney right there. The baby girl. The baby girl. Next up, Liz Fair. Let's see. Again, another $5. Headed to Houston. It's a habit to check them. Pulling them off and checking them. I got to break that habit. You got to break it. It's a hard habit to break. Let me do some little. Ain't that Peter Cetera? It's a hard habit to break. I don't think I've heard that song since the 80s. Wah, 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 wah. Carla. Man, so what's been going on with me? I've just been diving into the world. I'm trying not to talk about too much on this video. Let me put a little spray on that one. I've just been trying to get new systems, right? I think that's we'll talk systems. You know, before I had a whole system set out, right? Well, when you introduce a big change to that system, whatever it may be, at least with me, I've got to restructure my whole day. So, not just that, and being introduced to new categories, so I got to do new things. So I have to, okay, see what works with that. I'm not there yet with the newer one yet. I was just doing testing, but I'll have to set something up for that now. So it's just about creating systems that are the most efficient throughout the day. Sash Jordan Rat CD sold for $5. Stand in the area, St. Louis, Missouri. So my head's just been wrapped around that kind of stuff. Can't even send a 5-ounce item in the same city as you with ground anymore. These prices, it's just always nonstop going up. Next up, Jimmy Buffett promo CD. Also for $5, headed to Baltimore, Maryland. So, it's a hard habit to break. For Maryland, Edward. Yesterday, man, my sinus, I haven't had a day that my sinuses bugged me and was painful, and I had a headache from 3 a.m. till literally I took a hot bath probably about 7:30 or something. That's when it finally started releasing a little bit. I'm like, oh, thank you. So I've never had a headache that long from sinuses. It was a pretty rough day yesterday. We got Rappin' Forte CD so far. $10.50. Headed to Vacaville, California. Vacaville. Vacaville. Vacaville? That's what it says. If I read it right. Whoops. Nope. Nope. Julie. Julian. Did I leave something in a tote? I might have left some of the other store in a tote. I was like, I know it's slow, but I thought I pulled more than 2 items. Next up, Cause and Effect sealed with an old Tower Records sticker on it. That's kind of cool. So for $12, headed to Kent, Washington. Kent, Washington. Yeah. That kind of sucks with eBay, though. I mean, I've done all this work for a month, like growing the store 3 to 4 times more than what I have in the past, yet after Monday, my numbers start dropping again. It's just kind of a disappointment, you know? It's like boo, boo ho. Boo ho ho ho. But at least I don't have to concentrate or worry about that stuff no more. Next up, we've got this keychain with a P on it. I got a bunch of different lettered keychains that I picked up probably at the bins. I don't even remember. $4. Headed to Indianapolis, Indiana. Peggy. I'm starting to yawn. Peggy. Next up, we've got a book. The Taming of the Candy Monster. This sold for $8, headed to Danville, Illinois. Da, 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 11, 12, 1, and next up, Janae cassette tape. So for $8, headed to New Orleans, Louisiana. Derek. Next up, we've got Casey and the Sunshine Band. Get down tonight. Get down tonight. Sold for $7.20. Headed to Colorado Springs, Colorado. That's the way, I like it. That's the way, Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Shake your booty. You want me to keep going? We can do some Casey and the Sunshine Band. Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Shake your booty. Shake your booty. Booty shaker. Booty shaker. Victor. Victor's going to be shaking his booty. And getting down tonight. And lastly over here we got Oasis single. I believe they are back together after what, some like teen years, 13, something like that. 16, I don't even know. The two brothers who used to beat each other's asses or whatever. Who knows? $4 headed to Louisville, Kentucky. I was never an Oasis fan, personally. I like more... I like upbeat... Like, I don't like thought-provoking music. That's just not my thing. I like... When I want my music, I just want to be able to escape, you know? I love Megadeth, but I don't dive into the meaning of their lyrics, right? Some of them I have in the past, but it's more about just me just singing and moving. And that's just the way I've always liked my music. So things like Oasis, just slower monotone stuff, like a consistent type of thing, or like The Cure, any of those gothic kind of emo stuff, I just never got into, because I used my music for motivation and lifting up and getting me out of a situation. And I was just never in that headspace to want to go down. I always wanted to go up, right? So that music for me personally puts my headspace into just a darker area. And I think that's just kind of the way they make their music, it's just that has that overall tone to it. And it's just not me, it's not my thing. I'm about that pointless energy. Pointless energy. Get down tonight. Get down tonight. What else has been going on? Not much else. Nobody else. Caring for Pee-wee, playing with the puppies, creating new systems. I start a new food program. So, start a new food program. Take the weight off a little bit quicker than it's coming off. And just overall being happy, being less stressed, less worried, less intense. I'm just really trying to make sure I enjoy everything. Like the one video talked about just putting everything in my past away in the shelf, up on a shelf, in a closet. It's there if I ever need it, but I don't need it anymore. I want the second half of my life. Yeah, I know technically, but I always looked at it as 50 was the cutoff, because I always told myself I was going to live to be 100. So I always looked at 50 was my halfway point. But it's just trying to like how I got from 0 to 50 was under a certain headspace. You're never going to get out of here, you're going to amount to nothing in life, all those negative thoughts that push some people, they pushed me. But now I want the second half to be not based on the negative people who push me, but on the positives that I have done. And I want that to be the root of the second half. And that is trying to do something I don't normally ever I've never done. And that is give myself credit. Like, I don't think I'm ever going to go overboard with like ego type of thing, but I had a certain confidence growing up, even though I had nothing. And that's one of the big pushes that got me through things. So what can I do with that confidence if I start honing in on the things I have done? And I think I'm grounded enough not to let that go off the rails. So what can it do for me? If I feel like I can control it because of what has built me, how can I utilize it to do something even greater? It's all talk right now, right? So it's all talk, but it's more about telling myself things, because that's how you slowly build yourself and to manifest things, or to subconsciously create or subconsciously attain things you want in life. Is you just keep telling yourself over and over again, right? So it's kind of like just what I'm doing now. I'm in that rebuilding of the mental stage of, instead of the you'll never be anything, wiping those clean and going, you did this, you did that, you did this, you did that. An example, I've always felt like that I was going to fail, but I'd always had my parents to back me up. Like, I always had a place to go. Like, I would never have to be homeless again or anything like that. I'd have a place to go. So the fact that, my mom died in 2009 and my dad died in 2021, there's nothing to fall back on now. So I've got to realize that I don't need nothing to fall back on now. You did something. You created your stability. So just telling my things, changing the thought process of, oh, my parents aren't here, I got nothing to fall back on. It's dangerous. Oh no, I'm gonna fail. And no, you did something. You got a foundation. You're okay. So just rewiring myself. We got this Kids Ducks Unlimited t-shirt. So for $8. Headed to Ashburn, Georgia. Like, I'll never see myself as an adult. I don't want to ever grow up, right? Grow up to me is being responsible. But so I don't ever see myself being that adult. And to me, a lot of that's phony anyway, because every human has doubts and has, things that bother them, no matter if you're an adult and I don't share that stuff. And for me, that's phony. So I don't ever associate with that kind of a feel. I will say my fears or my thoughts and things like that, where somebody like that may not. They may still have that fear of thought that, if they fail, they don't have nobody to fall back on because their parents are dead, right? Just because you act a certain way doesn't mean you don't have the same types of concerns, problems, fears, etc., etc. So the fact that I went so long worried that I have nothing to fall back on now. Yes, you do, James. You got yourself to fall back on. You've got your knowledge and what you've done to fall back on. So it's just the whole rewiring myself. If that makes sense. Da, 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 da. 6. Taylor. Next up, Scars are tattoos with better stories t-shirt. Sold for $9.50. Headed to Haleyville, Alabama. Like you see some people that just seem like they have it all together, right? They have it all figured out. But you learn over time that those people don't always have it all figured out. Sometimes they have the same worries and concerns that you do. They just don't voice them. But then there are some that have figured it out. I want to be that person that has figured it out. That's where my headspace wants to get to now. 8. K-League. Whatever that is. Next up, we've got this vintage Rawlings trucker cap with the broken snapback. Sold for $6, headed to Pakasalala. Pat Oscala, Ohio. I don't know, it's something like that. I don't feel like Googling it, so I'm just going to act like that's it. It's Pakalasca, Ohio. Yeah, that's the ticket. I want to go to Pakalasca, Ohio, because that sounds fun. This hat gets to go there. Hat's going to have fun. JP. Oh, we got international. We got a UK. UK. Remove. We'll do that one second. Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Shake your booty. Shake your booty. Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Shake your booty. Shake your booty. So since we started this video 43 minutes ago, I've sold no items. So that shows you what the hell's going on today. Because normally I'm cha-chinging when I'm making these videos in the past. So we are at a different time period, but still, like I said, last week is totally different feel than the 2 days so far this week. You do low sales, then it kind of shuts off. And then you have a little rebound late at night. Where last week was just consistency. That's there. And lastly, we got the Aragold hat. It sold for $6. Boom. Boom. Forgot to print up my pirate ship scan form this morning. Forgot. Oh, I must have just had another. It must just got a sale. At 311 Alice Cooper cassette. House of Fire. House of Fire. Used hat. $6. Pull the spaces out of your tax number. 777 get rates. The international didn't go up, did it? $13.99. It was $12.99 at one point, but wasn't it? I don't even remember when the last time it went up, or if it went up this time. I don't know. I think I jumped mine up to $14.99 to cover it. So. Back in my day, we used to be able to send overseas for $7. Let me do end of day here and print that out. Oh yeah, that's 16. So it had 16 international sales over the weekend. So let me get that printed up so I can get it scanned tomorrow before I forget again. All right, that is all for me. I'm going back to work. Going back to work listing stuff, testing categories and such. So, all right, thanks everybody. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel if you are not, sign up for List Easier, put in your email address, because it's coming soon. And you guys are gonna be excited. Life-changing. And I'll see you all in the next video. Later.